But yeah, only played Scarlet for 10 minutes and never played it again. Never even got to the first gym leader, which is unfortunate because I hear the endgame content is kind of poggers. But am I really missing out on it? Probably not, right? I feel like people very much over-exaggerate the endgame content of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Like, oh my god, this is one of the best Pokemon stories ever. It's not. You think about it for like more than 2 seconds and it's like, this is the most nonsensical, dumb thing ever. And it tries to, at the very end, make a hero out of the professor who's actually just like one of the most evil people in Pokemon history, and it just doesn't make any sense when you think about it. It is very weird. In terms of story content, the DLC actually does some very interesting things with the character of Kieran that I actually very much appreciate, and was honestly the most fascinating character I've seen in Pokemon since N in Black and White. Like, the stuff that they did with Kieran in the DLC, that I thought was actually genuinely interesting storytelling when it wasn't being a fucking mess. But the main game is just the most ludicrous thing you've ever seen, masked with like flashy big spectacle stuff that makes it seem to, I don't know, the unmedia literate like it's better than it is. I don't know. Like, but yeah. See, I save money a lot because most AAA big budget games don't appeal to me, and my backlog is so long that I can keep myself occupied until the next thing I care about drops. Yeah, that could be me at this point. And I am honestly thinking, while I have showcased like any new big Nintendo thing that's come out on this channel for years, I think I'm starting to get to the point where it's like, maybe I should only start doing it if it interests me. And I'm starting to not do every Nintendo release. Like, earlier this year, I didn't do a playthrough of Dragon Drive when that released this summer. And part of me was debating about just not buying this because I knew that I'd played this for like 1 hour, and then that's it. And then that's $30 that I spent. So like, is it really worth it? The 2 parts or whatever this is going to make over on YouTube are definitely not going to make me $30 back. I can tell you that right now. So like, I don't know here. Like the DLC storyline with Ogerpon, but that's about it for Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, I heard that stuff was interesting. People hyped him up so much. What was the reason people hype him up so much? Kieran? I think for very different reasons than I do. If you want to know, I have like the full video essay like dissecting that storyline that I made earlier this year, something like that. That also dismantles the things I really liked about the story. You as the hero slowly turn into the villain as he loses mind due to an inferiority complex. Yeah, I did a video essay for both main game Scarlet and Violet and for the Scarlet and Violet DLC. There's separate video essays for both of those where I like really get into it. But essentially, the short version is Kieran has a main character complex where he puts in all this work, and so he feels like it's justified that he should get the rewards that he seeks. But he sees you just show up and get them instead of him, and so it kind of sets him on his villain arc and feeling like he'll never be good enough because life isn't fair and he can put in all this work and not achieve his goals, whereas you as the player can just stroll up and get all these things virtually for free, putting in like no effort.
Did you say?
And I think, you know, his mentality kind of has a point. It is unfair. What did the player do to earn it? But at the same time, that is kind of the way that life is.
Oh, you want chips?
And I feel like that argument would have like a stronger presence if, say, we were in the shoes of a character like Kieran, instead of being the person that is handed everything for free. So I do worry about the game potentially making the argument of like, hey, you might try your best to not achieve your dreams, but that's just other people. You always do. So I feel like its main argument kind of misses its point. But yeah, he is kind of upset there. It's like when you try to get a promotion at your job, then the new guy who's been there for like 2 months gets it instead of you. Yeah, that's essentially what it's like. So there is absolutely some interesting things that the Scarlet and Violet DLC story plays around with. I did appreciate some stuff with that story. So he would absolutely not be the type of person to never get Zekrom. The Poke would have ideals. Double negative, so he would get Zekrom.
Hey, he's back, and it looks like he brought something with him.
A cease and desist. A statue has arrived on DK Island. Oh, this is the whole statues thing.
Thank you.
So, can you spend more and more for like different statues? Can find goodies. Give me gold. Find a statue. So it's always 100 chips, I guess. Diddy Kong statue found. So you collect them. So this is just like a new post-game thing where you can farm up the chips and then collect trophies here. Do I have the, heck yeah. Ah, yes. Now we ride off into the sunset. The Donkey Kong Bonanza journey is now properly concluded. We've done it. What a beautiful sight. I'm surprised I haven't hit it. There we go. An invisible wall yet. Well, just remembered off topic, I wanted to mention something from God of War, but forgot. I want to mention before I forget again. Have you ever played God of War 3, 4, or 5? Absolutely play it on PlayStation. Yeah, a ton of unique stuff that happens with your controller. Like lots of crazy cool color vibrations, sound effects from it that you never get playing it on Steam. Okay. Well, I could potentially play it like PlayStation emulated. Like, what platforms are like... was 3 on PlayStation 2 as well? I own 1 on PlayStation 2. So I could play it on my actual hardware if I really wanted to. 1 and 4 are the only God of War games that I currently own. Is the case. Boop. Where'd the statue go? Boop. Come on. Boop. An apple juice. I don't know where it went. I've got this one now. Come with me, Diddy. But yeah. Kieran's beliefs are entirely justified. The only reason he's a bad guy is because of how he crashes out. Yeah, honestly. Like, in terms of like my profile up here for like my main go-to profile, I've had it be as N from Xenoblade 3 for a while, which is another instance of, hey, I might not like the overall story, but I like some elements of it, and I like the character. That's what's going on with it. And I have thought about at points of like changing it to Kieran, because that's another instance where it's like, hey, I might not like the overall experience, but I kind of liked what they were cooking with the character there. Maybe one day I'll switch my profile to a Kieran profile. That says a lot about how there is actually parts of it that I did quite like. Let's smack this checkpoint with Diddy. Jungle Ruins. I don't know what else to do. It's just another layer that you can explore for fun, I guess, and presumably get bananas around. Is there bananas and stuff around here? Or is it just kind of like this area for fun? Because, again, this doesn't really seem like a whole lot of bang for your buck for $30. It's like Kirby in the Forgotten Land, where it's like, hey, yeah, it's good. But is it really worth $30? You know? Is it really worth that? But yeah, like even switching weapons to the controller would have different colors that show up for each weapon. I don't think my PS2 controllers would change color. Home construction development would make or break, whatever it takes. God of War 4 I do own on like PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4 version, so I play it on the PS5. That's under my desk here. Let's build a zipline to reach that small island west of here. Sure. Maybe there isn't even any bananas here because they wanted to have a specific amount of bananas with the main game and they didn't want to destroy that. So, if I could just play any layer I wanted, I would totally, like, in terms of the roguelike mode, I would just go to, like, the furthest layer and see what an actual challenge with this looks like. But I don't necessarily I don't really have the motivation to go and do that same mode that I assume is going to feel very, very repetitive as I keep on doing it across every single layer in this game. So unless like a bunch of people on YouTube are like, hey, we really want to see you do like every layer of that mode, I don't know if it's something that I'm super interested in doing. So I would like to get that more challenge, but I don't really feel like doing every single layer in order just to be able to reach a further challenge. No thanks there. Construction complete. But yeah. What the heck? There goes my audio again because I nudged this cable. I need to replace this cable at some point. Universe literally bends over backwards to give the main character all this cool shit, and Kieran, who actually tries, gets fuck all. Yep. That's literally how this story goes. No, specifically PS5 controller for God of War 3. Weapon changing colors, I mean. Okay. Looks him up and he becomes champion. Yeah, so when he like puts time in on his own separate from you, he becomes a champion, and then you show up and you immediately dethrone him, and then he gets all ticked off again like, what? Why does this person just show up and immediately kick my shit in? It's unreal. I actually know how it feels to actually try and put my mind to something and guess less than stellar results only for someone else to do it perfectly first try. That's something that I can relate to as well. it was a story that I told during that video essay on the Scarlet and Violet DLC, where I was testing for my 3rd degree black belt. And I see all sorts of others like progressing around me, and I'm stuck with like my wrist and hip injuries. My right wrist has actually been causing me a lot of trouble the past week, so I might be coming back here. But my hip mostly is what was causing me trouble. And then COVID and all this stuff, and just I would be attempting my 3rd degree testing on and off for many years. I started testing for my 3rd degree black belt when I was 19. I only got it like when I was 24, late 24, something like that. It took me 5 years of trying to get my 3rd degree black belt, as I would see other people continuing to progress around me. So that was a little bit demoralizing for a long time, but you know, it was a very important lesson in humility and the fact that like, hey, everyone has their own journey. It's not going to be at the same pace. Like, don't worry about others, just worry about your own progression, is what I feel like that was a big lesson in for me. And nowadays I'm practicing a bunch of the 3rd degree material. That there's actually a black belt testing coming up here like next weekend, I believe it is, that I'm sure that I could pass breaking wise now that I'm testing for like an interim, which is just like a step along the way to the next black belt and not the actual next black belt where things are like super hard for testing. I'm sure I could pass the breaking kick whenever I need to, but I don't actually know the new material that I need to know. So I'm practicing a new pattern with sword that I just started learning like a few days ago, and a new pumse, which are like these patterns of movement that you have to do, basically like an invisible fight. I just recently learned the 3rd degree version of that, and I need to learn the 3rd degree sword pumse is what I have to do. So I've been learning how to do like some spicier things with my sword recently, and I need to take some time to practice on my own time to get that stuff figured out. Maybe I could grind it out like just at home on my own time. I'm sure there's probably some YouTube videos people have made of what these pumses look like, so I could probably look it up on YouTube and follow along in the backyard or something like that, and then maybe try in a couple weeks. I've gotten sidetracked during this whole discussion. But yeah, let's see here. Main character is literally an unstoppable force. Yep, that's how it goes in Pokemon games. Appreciate it there. I find his possessiveness of Ogerpon towards the end of the first DLC unnerving. That's probably the intention. Yeah, I imagine that it is. Where, like, he has this specific idea of what's going to happen, and, you know, his heart is so set on it. So that's kind of creepy. Bring him here. Like, I was pretty weirded out by Kieran when I just played the first DLC. But after the second DLC came out, I was like, okay, now I see what they're doing with this character. That was actually kind of interesting. Does Kieran get anything at all? No. And that's something that I feel is kind of missing, is there should have been a 3rd act where, like, he gets something out of it and is like, hey, this might not be, like, the specific thing that I set my heart on, but it's something that I can be happy with. So that was something that I criticized in my, like, story analysis in the video essays. Hey, there should have been a 3rd act where he gets something where he's happy with it. And, like, hey, this might not be what I expected, it might be lesser than I expected, but it's cool that I was able to achieve this, and I'm truly, like, proud of myself for achieving that. We never see that with Kieran. We just see him being like, oh, sorry I was a dick. Congrats to you getting all the cool shit that I never got. And that's how it ends. And it's like, what, really? Anyway. Hi. What's this for? Like a photo mode or something? You can't even interact with them. Yeah, have the opposite legendary pop up and he catches it. He actually does catch a legendary. Like, he sees the legendary go, like, that's the end of the second DLC, is he sees the legendary walking up towards you. He's like, what, not this time, and he throws a Master Ball at it and catches the legendary, but then the legendary is too powerful for him and breaks out of the Master Ball and you have to catch it. So another example of just, like, absolute insanity bullshit things going for the player. Yeah, it's insane. So, yeah, the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC sure is something. I feel really bad for Kieran. Like, again, like, he crashes out pretty unreasonably. He's pretty creepily possessive of Ogerpon. But, man, does he ever get shafted, dude? Is there a photo mode in this game? I forget. I think that there was, right? But I don't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, I forgot there's co-op play in this game. Group photo time. Oh, I spun them. What? They're saying things now. They weren't saying things before. Wait, what? Oh, with down. Here, I can get a photo here, but you're facing the wrong way, man. Will this reset them? But yeah, poor guy, literally unluckiest person ever. Yep. He also gets bullied by his sister. Yeah. In the first DLC, he gets bullied by his sister, and then in the second DLC, where he starts getting, like, more aggressive and working harder for what he wants and getting champions and stuff like that, he starts being, like, super toxic towards his sister. Yeah, he is. I'd say that that is definitely accurate for his character as well. Hey. Group photo time. I can't spin him around anymore. Whatever, it doesn't matter, man. So, yeah, it's just like an area that you can explore. So having DK Island in this game is like, hey, that's cool and all that.
We teleport there.
It's cool to be able to see and play around DK Island in a modern game here, but... again, this was $30. What? I could have gotten so many other things for $30. If you're like a really big fan of roguelikes and the emerald collecting mode looks really fun, then maybe you would actually get a decent amount of playtime out of it if you go around and do the modes on like every single layer. Maybe you actually do get like a decent few hours into this, and then maybe like it is worth bang for your buck. But for me, I do one round of that, and it's like, okay, I can tell that if I keep on doing this over and over again, it's just gonna feel like the most repetitive thing that I'm not exactly gonna be the biggest fan of here.
Let's do this.
But yeah, I'm being extremely greedy is a grave sin. Should have been like Valhalla DLC free roguelike. Yeah, if this was a free update, this feels like something that should be a free update. It's just DK Island as a new area to explore, and a mode where you can explore it and the other layers, collecting emeralds for Void. Like, this should have absolutely been a free update, especially after Donkey Kong Bonanza was so critically acclaimed. This would have been like an easy dub for Nintendo, for people to like put Donkey Kong Bonanza on even more of a pedestal. But now, after people love DK Bonanza and this amount of content is out for $30, I don't know about you, but it puts a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, at least. But yeah, if this came out 10 years ago and people could afford shit, it wouldn't be as bad, true. Did Mario Odyssey have free DLC? I don't remember. I didn't really play much of Mario Odyssey after launch. I'll go check out what that is, I guess. Maybe there is an actual objective to do on DK Island. I have a single bit of gold in DK's brain. Whee. Oh no, that's just Void. That's what that is. Just to go do that mode. I assume you can select the other layers from here or something. It does? I believe it. But now the Mario Odyssey equivalent on Switch 2 has a very smallish update for the price of $30. Oh yeah, it was Luigi's Balloon World. It was the hide and seek mode. I actually did play that. I played that with Jonto, I believe. A Pokemon remixer. Let's talk. Let's make it quick. Oh, it's just this again. Get out there and collect. Whoops. No, I didn't actually mean to select that. Oh, it's not even every layer. Oh, I guess it is because it shows the difficulty like in green stars for these things as well, for the emerald stuff. But I guess you don't unlock them directly in order. But it's still like, what? Wait, this is locked. Wait. So these ones won't ever be a thing. That's not why I need you. That's a no DK zone for now. Wait, so how many levels are in this anyway? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels. My God. Okay. So let's recap. This, for $30, is some mouse control mini games, a mouse control roller coaster, some voice and camera mini games, just a few of them that are kind of lackluster. I don't know, I didn't try the camera ones. And some different play modes that should have just been in the base game at launch, and it counts it as like a whole separate thing on the main menu that you have to load into, and it's so ridiculous and weird for $30. This is 12 levels, a final boss at the end of those 12 levels, and a new hard mode in the arena, also for $30. And this is one new area and 6 levels of a roguelike mode for $30. Ooh! I've paid a collective $90 for these 3 barely anythings. For $90, I could get something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth twice. several copies of Hollow Knight Silksong. What else could I get for that price? Those are just the immediate examples in the back of my mind, because Silksong is a recent release, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is something that I bought recently, so it's in the forefront of my mind. I'm sure I can come up with other examples given enough time here. Just other games in general that are marked down with time. Like, another PlayStation game that I really enjoyed recently was Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Yotei is coming out here pretty soon. I'm really looking forward to Ghost of Yotei. I got that pre-ordered. It's coming out early next month. That game's probably going to be sick. It looks pretty cool. I'm really hyped for it. I'm pretty sure that's going to cost like $90 Canadian. So, I could either buy Ghost of Yotei, which is going to be another like semi-open world massive adventure with probably kick-ass combat, or I could get a handful of new levels in 3 Nintendo games for $30 each. What's really more worth my money? Like, again, I figured that I would probably do this as part of, like, continuing my playthrough, showcasing all the content of Donkey Kong Bonanza as part of my series on it. But just in terms of cost effectiveness, I paid $30 for not all that much here. Again, I assume that most people that would get this will probably do the rest of the levels that I'm just not here. Heck, maybe if I'm really bored one day at a LAN event and have extra time, like HalloLAN coming up here, and there's like a little bit of extra time to burn, I'll be like, all right, let's hop in and showcase one more level of the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC, just because there's time to fill or something like that. But at the same time, I feel like there's other things I'd rather be playing to fill my time that could go in there. I don't know. Maybe you'll see a little bit of this at HalloLAN or something like that if I get through all my other games in time and then I just feel like playing this for fun. Because, yeah, the roguelike mode there is like, hey, kind of interesting, I guess, but I don't think it's quite my cup of tea in the sense that I would pay 30 bucks for it and see myself playing it over and over and over again for that roguelike replay value or anything like that. I don't think I can see that being the case. I can't destroy this. But yeah, let's see here. But yeah, rare chance of Nintendo giving free DLC for a Mario game too. Yeah, it happens from time to time. Pokemon Legends Arceus got a free epilogue content added after the fact, like several months afterwards, just like free, hey, here you go. And now Pokemon Legends ZA has pre-orders open for DLC of a game that isn't even out. Times are changing here, man. Wish Nintendo got the Kieran treatment. Getting greedy but gets nothing. Yeah, if only. Next 10 years, consoles will cost $10K and games will cost $500 to $1K. We'll see how crazy inflation in the industry gets. Final Fantasy Tactics Remake comes out recently, and that's probably going to be fairly expensive. Yeah, may well be. Yeah, Ghost of Yotei, I think, is going to be a timed PS5 exclusive, because that's the way that it was for Ghost of Tsushima. So, I assume that's going to be the case for Ghost of Yotei, is that it starts out as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. But then, well, Ghost of Tsushima, I should say, was a PlayStation exclusive. It was a PS4 game that later came to PS5, but you know what I mean. So Ghost of Yotei would be a PS5 exclusive and then come to PC sometime later. Yeah, I would very much like to. I pre-ordered it. It is my first PlayStation game that I've ever pre-ordered. I was about to say PlayStation 5 game, but I guess technically PS2 as well, because pre-orders weren't really a thing that you did in the PS2 era. At least not that I did. So yeah, first PS5 game that I've ordered, and maybe first PlayStation game ever that I've pre-ordered. So I'm really quite looking forward to Ghost of Yotei, because it's probably gonna be sick. They already had their Kieran treatment with the Wii U. Or maybe they did with the Virtual Boy, which they're somehow bringing back for it to flop a second time like it's Morbius or something, for some reason. It is unbelievable. I destroyed your thing. What do you think now, dude? But yeah, this is honestly, this is very much just like the Kirby and the Forgotten Land additional content, where it's like, hey, it's good. I don't think it's bad. But it's not really justifying the cost of entry unless you see yourself really getting a kick out of the replay value in multiple levels of the roguelike. So, I mean, which I don't. So, while I usually would do a full playthrough showcasing all the things, I'm just gonna get bored of my mind, and I don't want to. Oh yeah, funny story, one time I bought the Wii U specifically just to play Explorers of Sky on it, as Explorers of Sky was on the online store for the Wii U. Yep. And it was not on the online store for the 3DS, because Nintendo is dumb. But yeah, the fact that the Virtual Boy and Bubsy are coming back at roughly the same time tells me that nostalgia pandering is going way too far. Would there be nostalgia pandering for the Virtual Boy really when it was never really popular at all? Or is it just them hoping that people will be like, huh, I wonder what that was all about. Let's try it out for the novelty of it. It's retro and special. Oh. It's 12:28 right now. It is currently the 14th of September, 12:28. I don't know. I could probably be up a little bit longer playing a little bit of something else, which there isn't really much else on the table. Elden Ring Night right now, I already did a whole bunch of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm probably going to want to spend more time in for the next session. I could play a little bit of Bloodborne, but maybe. At the same time, I'm kind of pooped out of Soulsborne tonight. I don't know. Oh shit, tomorrow's Undertale's 10th year anniversary? Really? 10 years old, that game. Crazy how time flies. I feel like I could either switch over to play a little bit of Bloodborne or I could go right to sleep. Is what I could do from here. And I don't know which of the two I should. There are people who meme the Virtual Boy and Nintendo themselves like to I know the word like self-deprecating. Self-deprecatively make fun of it, so I think Nintendo's banking on that. Yeah, especially with the prices that's coming out for. I was thinking about it if I had more time tonight, but if I'm starting a new playthrough, I want it to have like lots of energy for it. And it's already 12:30 in the morning here, and like my energy's already a little low. So I don't think that I want to be starting anything new tonight. I was actually thinking about starting Xenosaga tonight, since I've been thinking about starting it for a while and thinking about starting it this week, potentially. So my original plan today did have me potentially doing Xenosaga after Donkey Kong Bonanza. But then I played Elden Ring Night Rain for 6.5 hours. I figured I'd just go until my cousin and my little cousin were done playing. And they were prepared to be playing that game all friggin' day, as it turned out. So I ended up playing Elden Ring Night Rain a lot longer than expected. And I am so burnt out of Elden Ring Night Rain now. Because, oh my god, there's only so much that I can play of a roguelike game. And I played it for 6.5 hours. Yeah, I've already been streaming for 8 hours, so don't know if this is necessarily the best time to start something new. I don't know if I have the energy to start doing any stuff with Bloodborne either. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll go to sleep here is what I'm leaning towards. Part of me is looking at the time like, I can put an hour and a half in something else and stay up until like 2-ish. But meh. But yeah. That being said, Bubsy has no excuse. Why the hell is that Gormless fuck coming back? He's like a goddamn cockroach. How many times do you win against the final bosses? I don't know. Probably 4 to 5 times on average. I think we lost when we ran into the Everdark ones, which are like the super hard mode ones, and you don't know if you're gonna run into a normal one or an Everdark one until you face them. I think all the normal ones we beat. What could possibly go wrong? Literally everything. You worthless piece of abysmal dog shit. Is that what their saying was? You really hate Bubsy, my goodness. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is kind of where I'm at. So who knows? I won't say that this is the for sure end of Donkey Kong Bonanza, because again, there's main content that I haven't showcased, but I'm at the point where it's just like, meh. I'm getting pretty sick and tired of these $30 Nintendo expansions that deliver the tiniest little twiddlywink of content, man. Only Everdarks I've beaten was the Bug and Moth one and the Centaur one. Yeah, we just went up against the freaking, now that you call it the Bug and Moth, that's what's in my head instead of like the actual name, Noster, Wisdom of Night. We went up against that and kind of struggled towards the end and died. Was the case. Don't like how the alien one gives you a specific weapon? Yeah, but normally it's at least piss easy. But it wrecked us when we went up against Everdark Augur. I'm picking up my hatred for him for content. You're gonna get some sort of poisoning, DK. Don't know what it is, but something here. Something or other. I don't know. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll wrap things up here. I would like to start Xenosaga soon. Bubsy's just a Sonic knockoff. The main reason I don't like him is because he keeps coming back. That's fair there. I can show very briefly here. Switch my input over here. yeah, the current game schedule is essentially like AC Valhalla, that I only have like probably a couple streams left to beat the main game, and I want to just do that before Hallowland. So I have a little bit over a month to do that still. There's still plenty of time before that. I actually cleared all the stuff with this recently, so I should take this off. Bloodborne, which I've actually been getting through pretty fast, so I can add another thing to the schedule here. So Bloodborne's basically my only active thing right now. Elden Ring Night Rain I play when there's an opportunity to play with friends or family, pretty much. So yeah, that comes up as it comes up. AC Valhalla is like, I'll play it a couple times before next month here, and then I'm good. So Bloodborne's my only active thing, so I should add another active thing. And part of me was kind of waiting for the Nintendo Direct to see if there was anything new major that was revealed. Like, new content for Donkey Kong Bonanza, but that's the thing that I just do a little bit tonight, and then I think I'm pretty much done here. So yeah, I'll probably start Xenosaga. I'm glad that there wasn't a new Xeno thing announced and made me feel like I had to rush even more. That tells me that I can, that I have time here. Fishing Planet 1? I almost read that as Planet Coaster. And I don't want to play any more Planet Coaster 2. But yeah, okie doke, sounds good there, Guzma. Oop, can't grab this. I have no idea what Fishing Planet is. If Mythic was here right now, he would ask for some more, Plastic Duck Simulator. And Xenoblade XDE that came out this year already. Yeah, but that's not like a full new game. And if you look at the release schedule of like Xenoblade games in general, it's usually around the 5-ish year mark is usually when a new full Xenoblade game releases, which means that it should be around like 2027-ish, so I should have time. And then there's smaller projects like remasters like that. Xeno Golf coming 2027. I can't wait to test my putting skills with Cosmos. That's gonna be great. So yeah, I'll probably start Xenosaga soon, so keep an eye out for that playthrough. Xeno Sports. I have a layout made for it. I'm good to go here. Like, I can even show that here really quickly. I think it was just the same as my GameCube layout here. I got it set up for Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus as well for Hallowland, but I do have Xenosaga thing as well here, which, you know, just pretend that the game is here in a perfect 4:3, so you don't see these images like cropping part way off, and then you see like my controller inputs down there. Like, isn't that neato? Doesn't that work a-okay for a layout here? You know, imagine Shulk using the Monado as a golf club. Monado shield! Okay, so yeah, I'll probably use this soon enough, but I think I'm gonna call it a day here. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the 6.5 hours of Elden Ring Night Rain nonsense, or the past like hour and a half-ish here of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Again, I won't say that this is for sure the end of Donkey Kong Bonanza, because what if I have like extra time at a LAN event and I want to showcase more of the Emerald mode here? And under normal circumstances, I do try to do things start to finish, so old me would feel obligated to see what the final level of this looks like. I don't know, maybe I can look up on YouTube, see. Is there anything like super special important for the final level? If there is, then maybe I'll consider doing it, because it probably wouldn't take me too long to do all of them. But if not, and it's just like, hey, you can do the same challenge on other layers, then who cares? Like, unless a whole bunch of people are like, hey, we really want to see more of that, I probably won't bother, and I'll just take that time to do other things here. But yeah, no matter how to just bend to the will of the user, so like, it's possible. This is true. You are correct. I'm gonna get some sleep here shortly.